so the next tarot I'm going to show you is is a alternative again to another pop tarot that I would say Julie from Peekaboo Rose has had a hand in popularizing, and that is the Tarot of the Cat People. That's a popular tarot that came out in the 70s or 80s or something like that. Super funky. I really, really want it. It's actually been on my wish list forever. It's one of those decks that has been on my wish list since I very first started collecting tarot. Did I say what deck I was talking about yet? I'm talking about Tarot of the Cat People. Tarot of the Cat People. But I picked up this one from Dame Darcy when like I was saying before about the Mermaid Tarot. So I got this one and the Mermaid Tarot Black Friday sale last year. It was quite inexpensive because I bought the tuck box version. So like it wasn't much more than a mass market deck, 20, $30 or something that I paid altogether. And this tarot, while it's not similar in aesthetic to the Tarot of the Cat People, I feel like it's similar in function, and that this is this quirky world full of cats. And what's so cool about this is that it's just like a weird kind of trippy cat world where you have people that look like cats, cats that look like people, and diversity in cats, and that you got big cats, you know, tigers, jungle cats, house cats. It's wild, man. And I love this card. I bought it from, I think I bought it for this card. This is my favorite card in the deck, probably. It's a tiger on a train in Egypt. He's driving past the Sphinx, you guys. Like, that's amazing. That's absolutely brilliant. So yes, if you want an alternative to Tarot of the Cat People, I think this is a very underlooked, underrated, not well-known deck that could easily become a pop tarot. It could become just as popular as Tarot of the Cat People. And this is the Witchy Cat Tarot. I really love Dame Darcy's quirky, charming art style. This one's fun. I have fun when reading this deck, and I really do. There's a lot of little details in here, and the expressions and the cats and stuff like that, and the cat people that are fun to trigger your intuition in a reading. Awesome deck that could be an alternative for those who are drawn to Tarot of the Cat People, or are not drawn to Tarot of the Cat People, but want a similar fun and funky cat tarot. Witchy cat. Okay. Moving along, another deck that that became hugely popular in the last few years, that everybody knows and many love, is the Modern Witch Tarot, published by Liminal 11. The artwork is by, I believe her name is Lisa Starro. I was interested in that deck as it was being developed. At the time, there wasn't a lot of diverse modern tarots on the market, and I was interested in it, but I didn't ultimately purchase it when it came out. And I think, again, it's one of those things where when you follow the marketing campaign from the very beginning, sometimes you become overwhelmed and sometimes you lose. Sometimes that actually can turn you off a deck, you know? And I think some of the magic of tarot, for me, some of the magic of tarot is finding a deck and really having establishing my own deeper personal connection to it. And when I've shared that connection collectively with so many other people through a marketing campaign or through marketing, then sometimes I struggle to fully connect with those decks. So I didn't purchase it. you know, and that's the point in this video, the Pop Tarot, you know, why I'm making this alternative video, to tell you why. Not that I'm trying to be grumpy or be like, oh, I'm so edgy. I would love some of these decks that I'm talking about, the popular tarots, but I just struggle to connect with them because they're so popular. But this one, I found, and I purchased it almost immediately upon seeing the preview, and I thought, wow, this is similar to the Modern Witch, but I love this art style so much more. I love the art style so much more, and this really feels like a Gita deck. You know, this really speaks to my inner teenage, early teen, preteen self. And even though it's an all-female deck, like the Modern Witch, that was another reason why I stalled from getting the Modern Witch Tarot, because I think I had quite a few tarots. There's just so many tarots that came out that were all feminine that it was like market oversaturation, you know? But this one I said, yeah, whatever. It's all women, but I love it. It's beautiful. And heck yes, I want to hang out with these girls because they're all fun and cute. And I've used this deck for reading for my friends. I did a New Year's brunch, had a New Year's brunch at my house, had some girlfriends come over. We made brunch, made food, and had some mimosas and bellinis, and I did New Year's readings for everybody, and I used this deck, and everyone really loved it. It's very much like a girl time, fun girls night type of deck, and it's absolutely satisfied my initial desire for the Modern Witch Tarot, and I think that if you as well like the idea of Modern Witch, but just don't quite jive with the artwork, or whatever reason you're just bored of it because you've seen it so much and you're looking for something different, this could be a nice alternative. Also very diverse. It brings it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, just like the Modern Witch. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, pretty much to the T, except they change up the outfits and make the outfits more contemporary and more witchy. I think actually these outfits, the way the girls are dressed in this deck, are more witchy than the Modern Witch, which I appreciate more because, yeah, the Modern Witch was a little too mundane for me, a little too everyday. And this, to me, brings a little magic back, a little nostalgia. So I think this is a great alternative to the Modern Witch Tarot. Next one. Next one. I think I'm just going to do this one more. So this is an alternative to any of those vampire or kitschy like Halloween decks. And I know, don't come for me, Tarot of the Vampire Vance. I know Tarot of the Vampire is not a kitschy deck. It's a very deep deck. But at first glance, yes, the artwork feels a bit kitschy. It feels very 90s. And anyway, so those decks are quite popular. Tarot of the Vampires, there's the Haunted House Tarot. There is, what other vampire tarots are there? There's the Tarot V. There's quite a few like darker vampire decks that are popular. But maybe none of those resonate with you. Maybe none of those resonate with you, but you are interested in the idea of a vampire tarot or a darker themed deck for Halloween readings. Well, you could check out this one, Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. I believe it's based on a series of books by this author. And I found this deck via Avalon, Lady Knight of Avalon's channel. I'm going to put this one down here because I'll show you that afterwards. And she was raving about this deck. And I thought, oh, this is cool. It's very affordable, very cheap on Amazon. It's like under 20 bucks. What is cool about this deck is the other popular tarots of this sort do not have a lot of diversity. They're quite dated. They don't have any diversity. And these ones, you are spoiled for choice when it comes to diversity. You get 6 or 8 options for court cards. Like, you literally have a masculine and a feminine option, for a male and female presenting option for each of the courts. And within those options, you have people of color, you have, it's awesome. There are some, I'm pretty sure there's some age diversity as well. Not everybody looks super youthful. And also, Lover's card, choices. Choices, boo. You get to pick, choose, and refuse. You know? So this is an awesome and underrated alternative to all those goth, fantasy, loving, themed decks that goth, fantasy, loving people love. This is an awesome alternative that gives you, that's affordable. It's pippish. Yes, it's very pippish. But still, and you may need to know some basic French, but once you figure it out, I mean, you can just use Google Translate. You can write the words on the cards if it was a problem for you. Diversity. Diversity, you don't often see that in this genre, which is really cool. So I really think this is an awesome and underlooked pop tarot alternative. Yeah, okay. So do you guys want one more? All right, let's do one more. The last one is an alternative for people who are interested in looking for a tarot that explores Greek mysteries, Greek pantheons. As an alternative to the popular Mythic Tarot that became really popular in the 80s. I had the Mythic Tarot. I had the German version. And I ended up moving it along just because I was never really that attracted to the artwork in the first place. I was more attracted to the guidebook and understanding the concept of it. And so I had it for that reason. It served its purpose, and I moved the deck along. But then I came across this tarot, and I was really, really drawn in by the artwork. And I never seen any other Greek tarot sort of depicted in this way. And to be honest, the artwork kind of reminded me of some Greek, like I have like a Greek, an encyclopedia. It's like an illustrated encyclopedia of Greek myths. And the myths are kind of drawn heavy-handed like this. And the gods therein also look kind of a little scary like this. And this resonates. This really resonates. I watched an interview with the artist. Super interesting. I'm going to link the interview if I can find it. But I was just really kind of charmed by her. She seemed that she knew her stuff, and I was really interested in exploring all the themes and messages that she had channeled and packed into this deck. And what I like about this is that it's there's some extra cards. I have them all in here. I've only worked with this a few times. Just read. This is not a deck I probably wouldn't ever work with for anybody else. I read for myself. I consider something like this more of a contemplative deck. I work with it together with the guidebook, but it is for understanding more the Greek mysteries. It says here on the back, this is an intensely philosophical and deeply mystical deck inspired by ancient Greek Orphic mysteries and centered around the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So she's done another deck called Ariadne's Thread, all about the rat myth. But this focuses more on the Orphic mysteries. What does that mean? I'm not entirely sure, you guys. I'm going to do more research later, but this is inspiring. This deck inspires me to do that research, to commit to doing that research at some point. What I like about this deck, as I was starting to say, is that the titles are in Greek, and it's so busy that it really does make me slow down to really look at the picture and ask myself, what am I seeing, so I can figure out what card it is. You know, it is a challenge for some of the cards to know which one is which, but I find that when I actually just quiet down and focus and really look into the card, and I can pick up on the symbols, and more often than not, I'm able to guess what the card is without having to check the guidebook. So I enjoy that about this deck, because it challenges me and it makes me slow down, and it makes me ingest these mysteries a little differently. And I wasn't having that experience with the Mythic Tarot. I wasn't having that same experience with the Mythic Tarot. The artist as well, I know she said she spent a lot of time in Japan. I know she's inspired by like Eastern art and stuff. And I feel like you can kind of see some of that come through in how she draws the images, how she draws the people. And yeah, I think this is an underrated, not really talked about much deck that I would love to see more people talking about this deck, actually, and hear other people's experience with it. For me, the energy is very intense, and there's a lot of energy in this. Kind of reminds me of the Spirit Keeper's Tarot. When I had the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, it was kind of difficult for me to access the Spirit Keeper's Tarot in the same way. But this one lets me in a little bit more. Okay. Those are all my tarots. Okay, I'm going to show one bonus because this one's looking at me and it's irritating me. But remember when I talked about the Santa Muerte Tarot, I was going to show this as well as another alternative for the Santa Muerte Tarot, the Calica Tarot. I found this vis-a-vis Rose Honey Rituals channel. She has all the best decks, and I'm honestly so thankful to her for showing this deck because it's so much fun. I love the color palette. The Santa Muerte Tarot by Fabio Lestrani is very colorful as well, and it has these are more pastel colors, more childish, but that Santa Muerte Tarot has a comic effect to it, almost a bit of humor to it. I think that I get as well in this deck. So I think this is also a nice, fun alternative to the Santa Muerte Tarot. If, for example, the other alternative I showed you did not tickle your fancy. This one is independently published by the creator, Bob Rob Medina. You can get it from his website right here, Bob Rob Art, BigCartel.com. Was quite inexpensive. It was like $25 or something like that. So, you know, not more than most decks on Amazon. And I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. It's so fun for summertime. And it's just a Rider-Waite-Smith clone in this sort of Dia de los Muertos skull, Mexican skull, folk art vibe style, and really fun. Definitely a fun alternative for the popular Santa Muerte Tarot. Okay, so that is really it. I'm done now. And thank you so much for watching this. Please let me know what you think about these and do a VR. I would love to see everybody's VR because I would love to see more decks that you think could function. Give me your recommendations as well on Pop Tarot alternatives and let us spread the love. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You can stay.